All right, guys, welcome back to Playing on Footy. Today we're going to be looking at the AFL Round 5 Gather Round. Yeah, what a awesome sort of uh, sort of weekend, if you want to say that. Obviously, the first game was the Adelaide Crows and the Geelong Cats. This one it really did come down to a couple of key moments, and a lot of those key moments were capitalised by the Geelong Footy Club. Y- Patrick Dangerfield was sensational, as was SDK at times, down back there, but also Max Holmes, who and Bailey Smith, who have been, Max Holmes, we know what sort of player he is, kicking one goal, and Bailey Smith coming from the Bulldogs to the Cats has just been instrumental this season. Another game where he scores in the hundreds for Bailey Smith is just, sensational. 35 disposals as well. The way the Cats use him through the middle as well as on the outside with that running carry is just, instrumental and really to Chris Scott's brand as a coach. He played with 80% time on ground. Obviously, Max Holmes was at 83, as you can see there on the far right, and 87% for Jordan Dawson. So, yeah, Jordan Dawson did okay. 3 behinds obviously would have been great if he kicked those goals because that probably would have made up the difference. But very, very close game of footy. Really excited to see the likes of Isaac Rankin as well play pretty well in the gather round. Obviously, he played the guitar before the game there. I don't know if you guys saw that. He was actually pretty good. He did all right. It takes guts to get up there and play the guitar. I tell you that much. So good on him. But yeah, backs it up with a great performance there. 2 goals, 25 touches. So the likes of Riley Thilthorpe probably didn't have much of an impact as you'd like. 1 goal, two, and Taylor Walker, 2 goals, two, as you can see there. But overall, I thought probably Connor O'Sullivan, even Mitch Nevitt, could have impacted a lot more than what they did for the Cats. But overall, a win's a win for the Geelong Footy Club, who really are just strolling along quite nicely this season. The next game was the Collingwood Magpies versus the Sydney Swans. This one was at the Adelaide Oval on Friday the 11th. Yeah, look, Collingwood, they just looked far superior from the outset. Sydney have been missing about 8 players, 8 solid players that they're missing so far this season. So they're not fielding their strongest team. And clearly you can see here Nick Dacos with 136 AFL fantasy, 2 behinds, 34 touches, but got the James Jordan tag. And infamously, James Jordan's a great tagger, but Nick Dacos just went out there and absolutely ran havoc. And as you can see, the old soldiers, still side bottom. Darcy Cameron, probably one of the most, prolific ruckmans this year, right up there with, say, Jordan Sweet, who's sort of come out under the radar, but him and, Jordan Sweet have the best hit outs so far this season. Obviously, Max Gawn is number two. I think Jordan Sweet was number one and Darcy Cameron's number three. So in that top three echelon, Ned Long, bit of a smoky Ned Long. I mean, he was wearing the vest a couple of weeks back, and now he's scoring 104 AFL fantasy, 29 disposals. I mean, that's a tremendous effort. And same as Scotty Penderby, isn't this guy like playing 400 plus games already? Like, and he's still, banging out the numbers, 26 disposals, no slouch with 72% time on ground there. So yeah, that's really interesting. Riley Bice again backing up his great performance from last week, 94 AFL fantasy with 83% time on ground, and Chad Warner probably not impacting as much as he would have liked, and Matty Roberts, but overall, I thought the game was really won in the middle, and Harry Perryman was one of those guys winning it out of the middle. And Bo Creary kicked a long bomb goal it was way back from the 50 arc. It would have been 65 easy. And he kicked 2 goals in this game. So good old Bo McCreary there. Definitely gets a nod from me. But yeah, overall, I think what this suggests to the rest of the competition is that Collingwood, who has the oldest list, I think historically ever, can still construct a win. And I think that's really awesome to see. And it reminds me of the Geelong Cats who won the 2022 AFL Grand Final and in Joel Selwood's final game. And yeah, it just goes to show that They were copping a lot of flack for being old, Geelong, but in this game here, Collingwood still have the legs, and it's the way they utilise and move the ball. I think that's really the key there. And Nick Dacos still side bottom, and Pendlebury still play a big role in that, so to speak. This game was really disappointing. North and Suns, Clarko post game was complaining about the weather and the way that the AFL fixture it. I think that's just really, yeah, I don't agree with that. I mean, I think with North, and I'm an Eagles supporter, so I empathise greatly with North supporters, is that, you know, they haven't really like they've got the list right. They've actually, structurally got a lot more depth than what the Eagles have, but they just haven't shown the improvements that I think a lot of North fans and other non-North supporters are probably wanting to see. And like so the likes of, Jai Simpkin kicking 2 goals, 24 touches is great, but if it doesn't translate into a win, or Harry Sheezel getting 1 goal and 27 touches, if that doesn't translate into a win, then what are they actually doing? What are they doing wrong? How are they moving the football? It all comes down to that. And I think, coming up against the Suns, who holistically and historically as well have been pretty poor, as well, for them to really just ramp it home and just put the knife to the heart to North fans was instrumental. So we run through the stats. LDU's re-signed, so that's fantastic for North fans. 3 behinds, 26 touches. I thought Harry Sheezel played a pretty solid game. Matty Round, John Noble's been a great get from Collingwood. Let's be honest, with that half-back role, Dimmer really utilises him quite well, which is really good to see. Caleb Daniel again getting plenty of the football under Alistair Clarkson. Jared Witt's doing really well. Oh, and Jack Darling. Jack Darling, 2 goals, one. Not bad, not bad. You can't complain with that. This is the 300 game player, and he'd probably still be getting a game with the Eagles at the moment. That's how poor the Eagles are. Tristan Sherry's a bit of a watch for me. Definitely got to understand, what's going on there. Obviously, he was complaining a bit more of a hamstring complaint. So yeah, just something to watch there. Probably, yeah, if you got him in AFL fantasy, do you really want to hold him? It's up to you. But obviously, if you're going to trade him out, you're trading him out at a loss. So that's just something you got to consider. Zach Fisher was an interesting one. Watching him come back in, it didn't really affect much of Harry Shearer's score too much, but and didn't affect Caleb Daniel at all, which I thought it would. But he was sort of more of a high half forward wing sort of position there throughout the game. Finn O'Sullivan did okay, nothing crazily good or anything like that. Charlie Comben and Griff back there as well. But yeah, overall, just nothing too special. Colby McKercher polled pretty poorly. Normally he's way up there, but there's just too many mouths to feed in this north side to really sort of raise that price up a little bit. But yeah, overall, really disappointing for North. Great if you're a Sun supporter, and I think they're going to be playing finals this year for sure. But yeah, just really disappointing. This again, another disappointing game. I'll run through this really quickly. It was just witches hats, waffle B grade stuff. Sam Walsh just killed them. George Hewitt 126, 121, 101. Mitch McGovern 100. Jack Graham 99. Duggan 88. So yeah, they absolutely killed him. Sam Walsh 3 goals and basically just allowed the Carlton Mids to do whatever they wanted. Kerno 2, 3 goals to Patrick Cripps. I mean, it was just witches hat stuff. It wasn't really anything, you know. Ryan Marrick didn't pick out too much. It was 78 for him in the end. Tom Gross is a really good one to watch. I think he's definitely in the mids right now, and I don't think he's going to be shoved out anytime soon with Tim Kelly playing another week of waffle this week for the Eagles side. Harley Reid was playing off a halfback flank. That was, pretty good to see. I'm glad he's not sitting forward. I just felt like if he was sitting forward, he would just be wasting away. So I think it's really smart for him to move to a halfback flank, similar to what Harry Shears has been doing the last couple of years. I think that's really going to build up his confidence and the way he utilises the ball and so forth. So, yeah, look, overall, Jack Williams had a shocker. He missed an easy sort of goal on the run, so to speak, and just sprayed it. Like it was pretty embarrassing, to be honest. Archer Reid is only going to improve, I believe. Sandy Brock is one that got absolutely put to the sword against Jesse Hogan and GWS last week, but I think he's definitely going to improve and right his wrongs there. I think going forward, just needs a bit more game time to really get into the way the AFL AFL is and the way that the ball's moved. People are bagging out Duggan, but he's still got 19 touches. And yeah, even though he's not a great user of the footy, he is the co-captain at the end of the day. And really, the Eagles need somebody to step up. But yeah, for Carlton to win that, I wouldn't be celebrating if I was a Carlton supporter. It's against the West Coast Eagles, so yeah, we'll see how they go this coming week. Western Bulldogs against the Brisbane Lions. This one was a really good game to start with, and then towards the end of the third, it started to really shift into the Lions' favour. Humour Cluggage was great. Will Ashcroft 101, Zach Bailey 100, and Jasper Fletcher, by the looks of things, has a bit of a halfback role and really looks to be looking to fill the Zorko sort of last year. So I think if you're going to be making a trade, that's not a bad option to go on to Jasper Fletcher, because I definitely think he's got that lockdown, not lockdown role, but he's got the role of halfback lockdown in his favour. So yeah, overall, I think that would be a pretty good one to go down to if you're playing AFL Fantasy. Stan Zorko still didn't hold too badly at 90 AFL Fantasy, but yeah, it was pretty clear to me that yeah, Jasper Jasper's probably got more of that role happening at the moment, so to speak. But yeah, for the Dogs, Ed Richards did really well. Timmy English, if you started with him in the ruck, he hasn't burnt you. He hasn't burnt you at all. He's been pretty consistent relatively. Tom Liberatore is probably going to be one that you're going to be looking to trade if you started with him. Great decision as well. But yeah, with Bond coming back, that's something to consider. Overall, I thought Logan Morris did a great game, 4 goals. I mean, he was really pivotal in shaping this game. As I said, towards that end of the third quarter and into the fourth, it really did start to change, and he was a key component to that. Not to mention, where is he? I can't even see him. Maybe I scrolled past him. Where is he? Oh, Eric Hipwood, 5 goals. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, 5 goals to Eric Hipwood, 82% time on ground. He was just instrumental. But yeah, I think the Dogs would be really disappointed with that. It was the game that got away, and the Lions are the comeback kings, as they say. Melbourne versus Bombers. This one here was, yeah, for them, for the D's, was a bit of a shocker. I mean, the whole season's thus far for the D's has been a shocker. 5 losses on the trot. Max Gawn trying his backside out as he normally does, 118 now for fantasy. Zach Merritt, 134, and Nick Martin, 121. I think any one of those two this round, coming into round 6, would be a lock against the Eagles, especially the way the Eagles have been going. Archie Roberts has been the AFL rising star for this round and round 5. 28 disposals, did really well rebounding that footy and getting it forward for the Bombers. Christian Petrarca, obviously, for the D's, and Ed Langdon were the ones next to Max Gawn there, just trying to generate something. And Cozzy Pickett kicking 2 goals, 99 AFL fantasy. Sam Durham, 99 there as well, and Clayton Oliver, 98. Dylan Shield racking up a bit of peel there, 1 goal 30. So going back to his GWS days, definitely helping the Bombers out there. Trent Rivers off halfback, 81 AFL fantasy, 1 behind. And Harvey Langford, 77 AFL fantasy. Saad Al Hawley would be another one if you're looking for a rookie to jump on this coming round. Xavier Lindsay, yeah, probably just trying to work back from that injury, not industry injury. But yeah, just definitely keep an eye out on him, just because you don't want his cash to stall at the moment. But yeah, overall, it was a pretty convincing win by the Bombers and puts more pressure on Simon Goodwin. Will he stay towards the end of this season? I don't know. I don't think so. I think his days are numbered. Frio and Richmond, another one I'm just going to smash through because it was not really much of a game from a Richmond's point of view. Andrew Brayshaw, 123, Josh Tracy, 107, Jaden Short, 103, Tim Toronto, 97. He'd be one to look for if you're looking for a premium mid. I think he's just priced under a mil in the high 900s, so he'd definitely be one to consider. If you, obviously, a lot of people have Jaden Short already in their back line, Luke Trainer in their back line as well, so he's definitely one to have. But yeah, Jordan Clark, I don't know if I'd really recommend him. I'm running with him at the moment, and he's been a bit sort of hit and miss. But yeah, obviously, Josh Tracy kicking 6 goals. He's really touting himself for the Coleman this season. But yeah, overall, Patrick Voss obviously got that hit on Vlaston with a clenched fist to the face. So I think he's got a 3-match ban at the moment. Murphy Reed, if you've got him, probably move him on now. His cash is slowly stalling. But yeah, overall, I think there's not much really to say about this game. If you're a Freo supporter, you just be happy that you trounced a bottom lying team. But yeah, we'll move on to the next game now. This one was a great game. I actually quite liked this one. Saints, I thought tactically, Ross Lyon, that is, was pretty instrumental on how well and how close the Saints got to GWS, but it just came down to manpower and strength for the GWS Giants. They've got a lot of experience in their side, and it's really showed in this game just to finish off the game. Lockie Ash was fantastic, 33 disposals, 14 handballs, 19 kicks, 9 marks, 83% time on ground, and meters gained 563. So he was pretty instrumental. Pretty much took over from the Whitfield role. I think Whitfield was getting tagged because yeah, Tom Green was let off the hook a bit. 108, 28 disposals. But yeah, overall, Toby Green, as you'd imagine, 5 goals. One was instrumental in this game and in shaping and shifting momentum. Jack Sinclair and Nasai Wanganeen Miller are always the top two for the Saints. It's no different in this game. Cooper Sharman kicked 3 goals, which was really good to see. And Darcy Wilson, having a pretty solid start of the season. Rowan Marshall, Roma, 70 AFL fantasy, but he's obviously still trying to. He hasn't had a preseason. It's pretty evident at this point. He's just wondering to see if he's running out of puff. Anyway, throughout this season, it'll be interesting to see how he runs it out from here on in. 2 goals to Drake Stringer, 2 goals to Jesse Hogan, which was good to see from those guys. But yeah, overall, I thought it was just a good, solid hit out by both teams. And yeah, obviously the GWS Giants come away with the chocolates. And this game here was a really surprising one. 30-point win by the Port Power. I think it really had a lot of feeling in this game. Obviously from last year's elimination final, I believe it was, or prelim, I think it was, where um, they basically Hawthorn just narrowly, lost to the Port Power. Connor Rosie, 126 AFL fantasy, 2 goals, one. John Newcomb, 1 goal, and Zach Butters, nothing. Connor Rosie basically had that halfback role, which was really interesting to see. So if you've obviously got him in your AFL fantasy, that's a great sign. Jack Gunston of old, 6 goals, unbelievable. He's still got it. He's still playing really well. James Sisley, 2 goals, 20 disposals, and Jason All-Francis are behind, but 29 touches. Was fantastic. So, yeah, and Jordan Sweet's having another great game this year in the ruck, really helping out the Port Adelaide Football Club there. And Dylan Moore, 88 AFL fantasy. But a lot of that was when Connor Nash? Connor Nash got off injured, unfortunately. So I wouldn't read into that too much. But yeah, overall, it was a great game by both sides, but ultimately Port just had the edge and were able to capitalize when it was needed. But what do you guys reckon? Comment down below, like and subscribe. What was your favorite game of Gather Round? I'll be doing another video now of the preview of what I'm going to see for this round. But yeah, leave your comments in the comment section below, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.